What's up, guys? Joe Massos here again, coming to you live from Miami, Florida. This is my third attempt at doing a live edit on this new Restream platform. This time, I believe I have it set up properly. So we're going to go ahead and start off with a new image. It's going to be an image that I did of Lindsay the other day. So let me share the audio here. Okay, so let's go to my main screen. And you should be able to see this screen right here. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm going to do a test in audio to make sure you can hear me. So let's go to my main screen. Give me 1 second here because there's a little delay from natural stream from me recording. So once I check this out on my phone to make sure we can hear, I'll continue and go forward. There's a little delay from natural stream from me recording. So once I check this out on my phone to make sure we can hear, I'll continue and go forward. There's a little delay from natural stream from me recording. So once I check this out on my phone to make sure we can hear, I'll continue and go forward. There's a little delay from natural stream. Okay, so we have to keep this on. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna do it like this, so you can see both screens as I'm doing it. But as I am going through this, what will happen is you'll see my ceiling. Keep this on. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna do it like this, and that should work. Okay, so let's go to my main screen here, and let's get started on the picture. Let's go to my main screen here, and let's get started on the picture. Okay, perfect. So now I've double checked on my phone, and you can hear me. So we'll just get started like this. And this way, unfortunately, you'll have to see the top of it. I have a Microsoft Surface Studio, and it kind of goes all the way up here. So hopefully that doesn't bother you too much, but just pay attention to the other screen, and we'll go through it. So this is a shot I did of Lindsay the other day at her community pool. And basically what you can see here is I already applied a filter to it, the heat wave filter. I'll show you the before so you can see in a second. It should change. Should get darker. So what we'll do, there you go. Okay, so now you can see the difference here. Basically what we did, so we applied the filter here. You can see it at opacity at 70%. And that's basically what I do with all the filters here. And this is Capture One that I'm using right here. I like to use Capture One. It has a lot of different features. When we come back to Capture One, I'll show you more features as we add layers and we play around with other things like our skin tone, exposure, contrast, brightness, stuff like that. So I already opened up inside Photoshop, so we can just go over here, and now you'll see that I already ran my retouching setup, so you can see my help layer is already on here. And what I'm going to do is just go to the cleaning area in the healing layer and use the healing brush. As you can see, it's selected right here, this healing brush right here. And I'm just going to start going over issues on the skin and make it real as clean as possible, because we want it to be a nice, smooth picture. So what I'm on Windows, so I hit Alt right here, and you'll see this little grid pop up. This is where you select the skin you want to use, and then from that skin right there, this should go in second. If it's acting right, hang on. Okay, so now you'll see it's acting up a little bit here. It does this from time to time. I gotta clean up the hard drive, but it should work. So now you just go over the little areas that you want to get rid of the little blemishes. Sometimes what I do is I just switch to the clone stamp. It lets me. Still clone stamp. And clone stamp is set to normal. The flow is at 4. And it does pretty much the same thing. So either one usually works for this. But we'll clean up little things here. Make the brush a little bit bigger if my computer wants to act right today. Jesus Christ. All right. Took me on this color for some reason. All right, now we're working. All right, so we're in business now. Let's see if we can get the heel brush to work. All right, heel brush is not working. It's still giving me issues here. Give me a second, and I promise we'll fix this in a second. And again, anybody just joined on, you can see the ceiling. I apologize. As you can see, I'm on the webcam here, so my faces should be popping up here in a second. See Tony here. What's up, Tony? Tony's an old friend of mine from the Air Force back in our days. You know, but here we go. Let's go back to this if it works. And of course, they're going to freeze up on us today, right? Let's see if there's anything we can shut off to make this run faster. Let me close iTunes. See if that speeds us up a little bit. All right, I'm completely locked up here, so give me a second and we'll get things going in the right direction as soon as my computer wants to act right. Sometimes it just takes a few seconds. While this is acting up, let me get on here and actually talk to you guys for a little bit about what's going on with my photography. Right now, I just got a bunch of wardrobe from a new brand, a new startup. I believe they're called Shop Best Dress. And in the future here, I plan on having a bunch of portfolio building shoots. So if you're an aspiring model, you know any aspiring models, and they're here in South Florida and Miami area, let me know, because I have tons of wardrobe that I'm going to be using to help build models' portfolios. And hopefully in the near future, we'll be able to get some work done. All right, I think this is starting to work again. So let's give it a try again with the edit. Sorry that it's taking so long. This normally does not happen. And usually if it does happen, I just close it and reopen it. But you know what? We're going to do that real quick. This is taking way too long for us to get started. All right, yeah, something new in Photoshop. So what is going on here? All right, so that's closed again. So let's go ahead and reopen this. First, we're going to delete the one that it created, because I don't want to have two of them. That should delete that. Let's see. All right, let's go ahead and reopen this. So you just go to image here, and you go to edit with, Photoshop, edit variant, and that should work. You know, tell them what's going on, brother. Yeah, you know, 305 all day over here, man. So old saying, you said tell everybody back in the Air Force, 305 all day, every day. So, you know, I'm old school out here in Miami. But, you know, we're trying to get some stuff started over here with the Photoshop, and hopefully this time it works out and we can get things going in the right direction. If you're still with me, thanks for bearing with me. I know this is a bit of an issue here. But this usually doesn't happen. It usually doesn't take 10 minutes to get started on the picture. But today's special because we are going live, and I'm trying to do everything with everybody seeing. But as you can tell, this is live, 100% live. So don't be surprised about things going wrong, because whenever you go live, anything can happen. But, you know, it looks like it's working a lot better now. So let's get started again. And back to the ceiling. Sorry, guys. Let me just work on this here, and I'll pull it back up. But this seems to be the only way that I can keep sound on while we're doing the stream. So I guess this is the way we're gonna have to do it at the moment. But so I hit the Alt again to select what I want to grab, and then we just use that area to edit out little things here. Just a little bit of darker spots, nothing too crazy. Just small things. This should be a quick edit. Last time, I mean, well, it would have been a quick edit, but we took a while to get started here. So I'm just gonna go over little things here. Just try this quickly. Hopefully, it doesn't take extra 35 minutes. Hopefully, we can be done within about 20 minutes for this image. Let's see. So I'm still on the healing brush layer, and as you can see, there's not a whole lot to do here because she's partially in the water. You know, I like the shadows here on her. You know, shadows all over here. Well, and I'll touch over that in the dodge and burn part. Notice she has a lot of freckles, so I don't want to lose the freckles. So we're just going to go to clone stamp right now, and we're going to go ahead and just do clone stamp. Tony, so this isn't my first time live. This is like my third time. Both other times it's gone terribly wrong. This has probably been the best it's gone so far, besides the computer acting out. So, you know, just rock with me for a little bit. I promise you it'll get better. All right, so now we're on clone stamp, and right now I got a flow at 4, opacity at 100. I got the blend mode set to normal. Again, there isn't a whole lot that I'm going to do here. Let me just brush over her just a little bit to see. And, you know, for those of you who don't know what the clone stamp does, it's a sampling tool. You sample an area that you want to use, and then you go ahead and go over it just like so. There's different blending modes. I've talked about this before. There's darken mode and lighten mode, and that's exactly what you think. So if you select here and darken, anything that's not as dark as this area is going to make darker. And anything not as light as this area, it'll do the same thing. So that's basically what those two modes do. Again, there's not a whole lot to do here. I may go over the chest here because she has some sunspots because Lindsay likes to be out on the boat. So just typical little skin things. Nothing major here. Nothing that's unnatural. So these are just normal things of retouching anybody in South Florida. So just like that, we clean up the skin, make it even. We want it to be even because I want to smooth it out. Once I get to the frequency separation layer in like 2 steps, you'll see everything will get smoothed out. And this is just a preliminary thing to just get things looking right. So over here, and okay, so that's just the cleanest area here, and I'll show you. I'm gonna take out the help layer so you see everything in color. What you'll see here now is when I take out the clean area, there should be very just minor things, maybe like the armpit you can see really got touched up, but for the most part, I didn't want to do a whole lot more with it. So with dodge and burn, what we're gonna do is we're gonna select the brush tool, have the flow. I like the flow to be at 3. That's like my sweet spot, so we'll keep that there. And for the dodge over here, by the way, the foreground will be white, as you can see over here in the corner. But the dodge basically works on the highlights, so the bright areas. So what I do is I kind of just go over the bright areas and keep them going together, which some people do it the other way around, but I prefer to do it like this, just follow kind of the guidelines. So just lightly. So because the flow is at 3, you're lightly painting in. So it's almost like you're doing strokes on a painting, right? You want to hit the main areas, and what you want to focus on is basically the jaw lines, the bone structure for the highlights. So anywhere where the bone would really just pop out or the bone structure is, that's usually what I look for. And we'll just brighten this up a little bit here. And don't worry about this because I know it may look a little off here, but I'm going to go into the frequency separation and we're going to smoothen that down. But like here in the biceps, I want the biceps to pop a little bit. Just anywhere where it's more bright, where the light's hitting, we're going to have that pop out some and just keep it looking good. And again, we're going to blend this all in frequency separation. So don't worry too much if you overdo it because it's going to come back down. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and go to burn, and we're going to do the opposite, the dark sections. We're going to make sure we hit that a little bit because I want to blend that in as well. And what I like to do is go around the forehead here, because what we're going to do is make sure all the center of attention goes into the face, and we're going to have the light really kind of direct that direction. And always go under the chin because you always want that to be a little bit darker to get some separation. And just work the shadows. And again, this is how I do it. There's other ways to do it, but right now I'm just going to focus on what I'm doing and keep trying to see if I can work it that way. All right. Pretty simple and easy so far. Okay. So now I'm going to take the dodge and burn layer on and off so you can see the difference. And it should be a big difference. As you can see right here, a lot of stuff is different on here. So turning the background, I'll get to you in a little bit, and I'll be able to show you some more of that. But right now, the dodge and burn, you can see the difference of her face. So now I'm going to go to the frequency separation. And in this layer here, we're going to set to 3. That's pretty much the generic rate that I use, the ratio. And then we're still in the brush tool, but we're going to go here in the brush layer. And basically one layer is all texture, one layer is all color and light, and the brush layer is in between it. So anything we do here doesn't really affect the texture. It doesn't affect the color. It just kind of blends it all together. So get the brush. I'm going to go ahead and use the picker tool and grab the color that I want, and then we're going to start gently brushing it in so we can get it to smooth in so that it's all nice and even. And you'll see it'll blend as we go through the whole picture. And I do this for skin retouching. I actually go over everything, but what you'll notice, if you can see here, there's still texture on her face. So I'm trying not to get rid of the texture. I'm trying not to get rid of all the freckles because that's who she is. That's who the model is, and you never want to change who that model is. You don't want somebody to look at something and say, "I don't recognize this person." You know, you want to be able to catch them as natural as possible, so that when they go to that agency, the agency actually recognizes the model, and they don't look plastic, they don't look fake. You know, so I try to keep all the texture. And that's why I keep the flow at 1% for this right here, because I don't want to go too deep into it. I want them to look pretty natural. So this is, again, just smooths out the skin, smooths out the texture. Well, not the texture. Texture is on a separate layer. But this is just going to smooth out everything and blend it all together. And this is probably the easiest way to retouch the skin and keep the texture on it. Just keep it nice and low. Some people take it a little bit higher and they do a little too much. But I try to keep it with the texture, so I want to still look like the model. And then, you know, again, you're sampling the bright layers, do like 3 or 4 strokes, and go to the dark layers, and you just kind of repeat this process. And as you get to higher areas, you can increase the brush size here, and you'll just go over it again. And this is what I was talking about earlier, where I would smooth out the skin just so we can do this. So it blends in nice and easy together. Probably the best way I've found to do it. And, you know, it did take me a while to learn how to do this, to understand what was too much and what was too little bit. So if you're new to doing this, you know, just take time with it, get some practice. I use the quarantine time to really go over the edits, and I saw the improvement on my work. But, you know, we had, I don't know, 3-4 fucking months to just go over stuff and just practice. The only issue I had was I had all my old work and none of the new work that I'm trying to do, none of the new like style. So this is kind of just, you know, what I kind of just kept working on. This shot, like I said, this shoot is Lindsay. This was from like last Friday. So this is the most current work I have at the moment. And I'm looking to get some more work done in the next week. But I'm here in Miami, and some of you guys may not know, but there's a hurricane coming or a tropical storm or something. So by this weekend, who knows what's going to happen here. So I'm just happy I was able to do something with Lindsay right now, because who knows? It's 2020, and I think we're all just ready for whatever. So, and again, I'm still just going over, blending in the skin, trying to get all the tone just to blend together well. As you can see here on the leg right here, there's a big highlight. So I'm leaving that highlight alone. I'm blending it together. There's water on her. I'm not take the water off because obviously she's in the pool and she should have water. But this looks like a little tan line, so I'm going to try to accentuate that a little bit, just so she still has her tan line right there. Okay, so that is the frequency separation. So let's take that off and take it back on so you can see where it was. What we're going to do actually is we're going to go back to the original picture where we came in at. So you can see I cleaned it up here. There wasn't much. Dodge and burn, you can really see the difference. And frequency separation, you see it all smoothed out. So that's the first 3 steps that I do. Then I have presets from other photographers that I use, actions per se, and I go through the actions and I use it. First I used to not do that, but then I said, you know what, the hell with it, everybody else is doing it. So I'm going to go here and work on her teeth. I take the flow up to 10 for this, and I kind of leave it at 10 on the brush for the rest of the stuff that I do right here. And as you see, just zoom all the way in. And hold on. For some reason they don't want to let me do stuff. Hold on. Oh, I see why. Yeah, selected layer first. My bad. And we're gonna make the brush much smaller here. And foreground set to white, as you can see there. And we're just brushing the teeth, just make it a little white. And now her teeth are already white as it is. Oh, and I skipped one point. So on the brush layer, I like to go over the texture of the lips. And remember, I changed the flow, so I can put it back down to 1. And let's just go over the lips. And it's going to smooth out any issues that may be on the lips. Again, you sample multiple spots, do a couple brushes, and you keep moving. All right, so back to the teeth. Teeth are done. Now let's go ahead and go to the eyes. And this is the whitening of the eyes. So let's make this white right here. And I was set at 1%, so that's why you didn't really see nothing happen. Let me set that to 10 like it's supposed to be. And then you should be able to see the difference. All right, now you can see the difference in white. So like I said, this is live, so hey, we make mistakes, we're all human. All right, so with that white in the eyes, for me, that is too much. So what I do is I come over here, take the opacity layer down to 50%. And that usually works for me. Now, let's just go ahead and go down to the iris. So the iris will zoom back in real quick. And just go over the eyes. And this really just makes the eyes pop. You don't have to do the whole eye. I do. I like the way it makes the eyes pop. So, got that right there. So now we're going to merge the layers all together. We're going to go to the high pass filter. So that's in filter, other, high pass. I keep mine at 4. This is the one that I like to use. And basically you can see this is the outline here that we're going to get for the texture on her. So hit it OK. Hit Control U. I hit saturation all the way down. That's just for this layer. And then I go over here to the blend mode. The blend mode here, I'll go ahead and change that to overlay. And I add a black mask on there to hide everything. So now we're back here again with the brush still on 10%. And what I'm going to do is go over little features. I go over facial features, the eyebrows, the eyes, nose, lips, just typical facial features. I go over the hair because I want the hair to pop out. I know it's wet, but still like doing that. And then I go over the bathing suit or whatever clothing item. the model's wearing. I go over that, and this kind of like pops them out the picture a little bit. Over all this. All right. Now, what I do that flow is at 10. So what I'll do is I'll drop the flow down to about 5, 4 or 5, and I'll go over like some of the water because we want to get the whole image to have some, some texture to it, some different look. And we'll do that right there. And you'll see in the mask over here on the right hand side, you can see this mask here of what I'm doing and what's being affected. Okay, so that's that there. And I'll go ahead and do one final layer. This is what I call my final edit layer. And I take the spot healing brush and I'll go over anything that I think should be pulled out. It's not a whole lot here, but if I wanted to take out the hair, which I think I'll leave that be, let that be. Just little things right here. We'll go over, get rid of that. The hair by her ear. And mind you, this is small, minor details, so it's not really something that's necessary that you need to do. But whatever helps the image is I'm okay with. And for the most part, I think this image is done the way it is. I'm happy with it. So what I do lastly is I add grain to the picture. And I add grain to the whole picture because it adds texture to the actual picture. So I think that looks good right there. I think I may want to go over her forehead just a little bit and take the clone stamp. We're going to go to lighten mode. And we're still at a flow 4. So we're still at a pretty low flow. Brush a little bit. I made you want to lighten up just a little bit here. All right, we'll leave it like that. I like to flatten my image because it makes the file smaller for when I do my save. All right, so we're gonna switch back over into Capture One now, and in Capture One, we are here now on, I believe this one, PSD 1. Yes. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and make another new field adjustment layer. And we're going to go to skin tone. So what I'm going to do for this is I'm going to go here in the Luma range. And we're going to display the mask. And all I want to do is affect her skin tone. So whatever's red on the picture is what's going to be affected. So like, let's see, like this here. And we don't have to worry too much about it because it's really just affecting that color. So anything blue or anything like that, it's not going to be affected. So I'll leave it like that. We'll apply that. And then we're going to choose the picker tool here. And we're going to try to play with the skin tone. See if we can get the color that we like to get. I may want it to be a little bit more orange, a little bit more color. Let's see. Let's see what we get here. Okay, so you see how she popped there? I want that orange complexion right there. So what I'll do is use this slider here to play with the hue, the color. Let's see about the lightness. So we got that going. Let's shorten this up so we only affect that color. Oh, no, don't want to do the hue there. See saturation. That way we got her nice color right there. So I'm liking that. And right here, I think we got a good look, good tan on her. So we're going to go ahead and leave that there. And we're going to call it a skin tone layer. Okay. Another layer. And I think this is going to be the background. All right, so this is going to be, we're going to lumen range again, and we're going to do the same thing, select the mask. And I don't want her skin to be affected, so we're going to get rid of her skin as much as possible. Like, I think that's okay right there. And change the radius, smooth this out a little bit. And really that's just affecting like the greens and stuff like that, but let's see what we can do here. All right, so now we're going to go over here to where all my colors are, and we'll play with it a little bit and see if we want to brighten it up. Like, obviously, that's too bright. It's too dark. So maybe -3. See the shadows. So let's get this down to about, maybe let's say 25. Well, that's good right there. Let's play with the levels, the colors here. Nice dark look right there. And again, this is all live, so you can see how the process really happens. All right, so again, this lets me play with the opacity layers here. So for this layer here, I'm going to drop it down to 70, which actually I'm going to do both. Move that skin tone, take that down to 72. So let's see what we got here. So we came in, you see how bright she is here in the skin. We're going to bronze her up a little bit so that way it looks like she has a suntan. Then we're going to change the background a little bit right there as well. And let's see if we do add one more layer to do an overall adjustment to the picture. And we can brighten this up some, which is pretty nice there. Let's see about contrast. Again, that's pretty nice there as well. And let's see. I mean, this is pretty much where I would kind of like leave the picture. But I can play with the lumen range here. We play with a lot of the light. Drop it down. So this is looking really good right here. I think I'm going to stop with this right here. You know, if you guys enjoyed this, like, let me know, and I can, you know, do more talks like this. But this is definitely one way that I'm doing it now, where I'm going live here on multiple platforms. You know, if you're on YouTube, you should watch me on YouTube. Just go ahead and shoot me a subscribe. Facebook, follow me. You know, Instagram, you can see I'm at Joe Matos Photo right there. I'm on Joe Matos Photos basically on everything. So that's pretty much my edit right here. I would go full screen, but you'd lose sound again. So I got to figure out what's wrong with that. And then hopefully we'll be able to get that fixed soon. Let's go ahead and take off this desktop. So now you got me back again full screen. For those of you that hung out with me this whole time, I really want to take a moment to thank you for staying with me. This is probably the best one I've done so far. I will get much better with working the system. I'm still working the kinks out of this, but I want to show you Lindsay's name also. So shoot the model a follow. We all love Linz. She's a friend of mine. She's an amazing person. She also does real estate. So if you're looking for homes in Miami, contact her. She ran a model agency. I don't know if she's still running it or not, but she did run one. If you enjoyed what I was talking about on here and you got some tips, you know, feel free to shoot me. Here's my Cash App. Feel free to shoot me a tip. If you don't want to, no worries. It's not necessary. I just figured it's 2020, COVID, anything helps. So that's where I'm at right now. Also, you can visit my website, joematosphotography.com, and that's about it. So if you didn't catch it from the beginning, I'm Joe Matos. I'm a fashion photographer based out of Miami, Florida. I'm looking to do portfolio builds with models looking to do any retouching work for companies that need it. If you need anything from me or have any questions, shoot me a DM, a text, an email, whatever. I'll try to do my best to answer it on these live streams, and I'll definitely respond to y'all as well inside DMs. But I want to touch on what people are talking about here, and I got to give my boy Tony a shout out because he stayed with me for a long time. I don't know if he's still on here, but I do appreciate Tony being on here, hanging out with me while I'm doing this. But yeah, that's about it. So again, I'm Joe Matos. If you have any questions, shoot me a DM, a text, an email, and yeah, that's about it, man. Thank you so much. You guys have a great night.